What is going on, you guys? This is Tech HD, and I have an exciting video for you guys because we're going to be taking a look at BenQ's latest gaming monitor. And this one is different from the rest because it is a 48-inch OLED gaming monitor, and it is jam-packed with a ton of features. And I've been testing this monitor out for over 2 months now. So let's talk about the features and specs, what it has to offer, and I give you guys my overall thoughts. Now, if you guys do enjoy the video and you watch until the end, please give it a big thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it, and it helps out the video and the channel a ton. And let's get started. So now taking a look at what we get inside the box. The box itself is massive, and I was honestly afraid of unboxing it myself, especially since it's an OLED panel and they are the most delicate. So I had to remove all the pieces out of the box first and then do the main portion on the floor, and you'll notice that the whole monitor is well packaged around some styrofoam, so that increased my confidence that nothing is damaged and the two pieces are strapped together to keep it in place and not separate. But before we take a look at the panel, let's see what it all comes with. We have these safety instructions along with some other documents, the AC power cable, an HDMI 2.1 cable, a DisplayPort cable, a USB 3.0 Type A to Type B cable, a USB-C to C cable, a screwdriver with 4 screws for the stand, the remote to control the monitor, the backplate cover, the base, and the stand. Now, after removing the strap from the styrofoam, we see the back piece of the monitor, and it is also VESA mount compatible. And now this is the first time where I actually need to screw in the base to the monitor since it's such a beast of a monitor, but thankfully it's very straightforward and easy. BenQ provides you with the screws and screwdriver to do it, and once you are done, you can apply the cover to hide everything and make it look nice and clean. Once that's done, you can attach the stand to the base, and it's a simple thumb screw. Once that's done, you can now lift the monitor onto its feet and remove the other styrofoam that's protecting the screen and the plastic as well. On the actual display, the OLED panel is protected by another layer of styrofoam, which again increases my confidence that the monitor will not get damaged during transit. But once all of that is removed, we can finally see the display in its glory. Now, taking a look at the ports, everything is on the side, and we have 2 USB 3.0 ports Type A, a USB 3.0 Type B, and that is also KVM support, of course. There is also a USB-C port with 90-watt power delivery support. There is also a DisplayPort version 1.4, 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, a digital audio port, and a headphone port. And on the other side of the monitor, there is the power port. On the bottom right of the monitor, there is the illuminated power button, the 5-key navigator for the menu, and the input button. And on the front of the monitor, on the bottom right, is the HDRi button. In the middle, there is the ambient light sensor for the Brightness Intelligence Plus, and the entire bottom row, there is the 2.1 channel speaker. You have the left and right speakers, each having 5 watts, and then there is the 10-watt subwoofer, which is actually on the bottom instead of on the back like other Mobius monitors. Hence, I'm curious to see how this will improve the bass, and of course this is all being powered by Trevolo audio to improve the treble, mid-range, and bass. Now, taking a look at the specs, this is a 48-inch OLED panel. It supports 4K at up to 120Hz and has a PPI of 92. It supports HDR10 and has a brightness of 450 nits. It is AMD FreeSync Premium certified and has a response time of 0.1 millisecond gray to gray, which is absolutely insane. Lastly, it has a color accuracy of 98% P3. All of this and the EX480UZ will be retailing for $17.99 US. Looking at the appearance of the monitor, it is overall very slim since it is an OLED panel and seems to be divided in 3 pieces. The back piece is for all the ports, the middle piece is for the heatsink to keep the panel cool to prevent burn-in, and the last piece is for the display itself. The display has very thin bezels on the top and on the sides, and of course a bit of a chin for the built-in speakers. It of course has that gamer aesthetic look with that look and color of the feet. It also has some RGB on the back that can be customized to multiple different styles in the menu. I overall like the appearance of the monitor. It looks very similar to the other Mobius monitors. Now, getting into the built-in speakers, there are 5 audio presets: FPS, racing games, SPG, cinema, and pop/live. So now let's do some sound tests to hear what it all sounds like.
All targets eliminated. Right now. That's it. Keep up with them. pulled over, I'ma tell him you jacked me.
Wait, what?
Just playing. I'm glad it's you in the car with me. It's been a long time coming. Just don't.
Well, that pass easy on the eye. He might be able to make it through. And there it is! An almost intuitive piece of finishing.
Well, here it is again, and I feel a bit sorry for the goalkeeper. He makes a good save.
This is all my fault.
You may not want her to watch this.
We had a deal.
You thought you could win.
I don't have to win. We both just have to lose.
Now, talking about the main thing about this monitor is that it has an OLED panel, and for those of you guys that don't know, OLED offers the best quality when it comes to brightness and contrast, the viewing angles, color performance, and a faster response time, and the EX480UZ does not disappoint. The entire viewing experience has been amazing. Whether it's for gaming or for watching movies and TV shows, I've been loving it. OLED can achieve true black levels, so scenes that are supposed to be black will truly be black and not a dark gray, and that is because OLED can individually turn on and off its pixels, so there is no need for a backlight. Looking at some local dimming tests, you can see the white square traveling around the screen without producing any outer glow. No edge-lit glow as well. Just the white square, and when it goes to the corner of the screen, you can see the rest of the panel being completely black. You see this very beneficial when it comes to subtitles, and doing some black level tests, you see that each individual box is a different shade of gray, but the first box is completely black with no outer glow, blending with the rest of the background, while the 255th box is completely white. Now, for those of you guys that are aware of OLED displays, you know that OLED has a bit of a reputation of burn-ins. For those of you guys that don't know, burn-in is caused when a static image is left on the screen for a long period of time and afterward leaves a ghostly image and then doesn't go away. Images like the taskbar on a computer, the banner on a TV show, the HUD, or the minimap of a video game. So how does BenQ prevent this from happening? Well, thankfully they have implemented multiple cool features to prevent burn-ins. There is the orbit mode, which makes the panel shift each individual pixel every minute to reduce wear and tear. That is done automatically behind the scenes, and you of course can't tell that it's doing it. Then there is the off RS mode, which after 4 hours of screen time, the monitor will automatically turn on this mode once you turn off the monitor. You can also run the mode manually, and it takes about 10 minutes, and then it'll turn the monitor back on afterwards. The last mode is the JB mode, and that is automatically enabled after 1500 hours of screen time and will run the mode once you turn off the monitor. You can also enable that manually, and it takes about 2 minutes. All of these modes are enabled by default, so you don't need to worry about it from day one, and they are amazing and necessary to protect the OLED panel. And I'm glad to inform you guys that my panel doesn't have any burn-in whatsoever, and I've had this monitor running for multiple hours, gaming on it for 8+ hours straight and leaving it on overnight to really test its limits, and nothing. Of course, all BenQ monitors, including this one, has an auto power off after 10, 20, and 30 minutes, so just in case. But like I said, no burn-ins whatsoever in my experience. Now, apart from OLED, BenQ also pairs this monitor with the legendary HDRi technology, and there are 3 modes: Game HDRi, Cinema HDRi, and Display HDR. And you guys should know by now, but for those of you guys that don't, HDRi combines both HDR and Brightness Intelligence Plus to give you both the best colors, contrast, and details, so nothing is overexposed and too dark. You can see the detail in both the bright and dark areas and have vivid colors. Brightness Intelligence Plus automatically dims and brightens the screen depending on the environment by using the ambient light sensor, and you can see the icon on the bottom right when it's being used. But there is one new feature that BenQ added to the HDRi technology, and that is the Color Vibrance. So you can now have the ability to adjust the color vibrance on the fly in both Game HDRi and Cinema HDRi. I love this feature because I remember times when Cinema HDRi and Game HDRi added too much saturation in what I was watching, and for me, I'm not a big fan of overly saturated content, so by default it's set to 10. But my go-to is anywhere from 11 to 13, but sometimes I like to go down to 7, and you can add color vibrance in the quick menu to make it easier for you if you like to use this feature often. The EX480UZ is the first Mobius monitor to have this feature, but I am happy to announce that BenQ added this new feature in a firmware update for the EX2710U, the EX3210U, and the EX270QM, and I'll leave a step-by-step on what you'll need to do to install it down in the description below. Now, in my experience, gaming on this monitor has been absolutely amazing and a game changer in quality, especially in story-driven games like God of War Ragnarok, Hogwarts Legacy, and the Modern Warfare 2 campaign. Looks absolutely stunning with the brightness, contrast, and colors. This monitor has a 98% DCI-P3 color accuracy with a delta E of 2, which is extremely accurate color reproduction, achieving better than what the human eye can see in color difference. It is considered a high-quality display for professionals, and this is how game developers and movie makers want us to see their content. The sharpness, since it's a 4K display, is nice and crisp, with so much detail when it comes to watching cutscenes, and since it has HDMI 2.1 ports, you could play at 4K 120Hz on the Xbox Series X, PS5, and PC. The motion is fluid with FPS games like Halo and Call of Duty with the insane 0.1 millisecond response time. Your enemies just can't compete. Not only that, but BenQ also added another feature enabled by default called ZFD, which stands for Zero Frame Delay, and it is designed to reduce input lag, boosting the game experience even more. So you get an ultra low response time and input lag. The EX480UZ is the ultimate monitor. And when you pair it with the amazing built-in speakers, you really get the best of both. So not only playing games, but watching movies has been amazing for an OLED display. Watching dark scenes like the Batman and John Wick has been beyond comparison, and the built-in speakers makes it even more enjoyable. Now, a couple of key features that this monitor has is one being a KVM switch built in. You can use the same keyboard and mouse to control two devices by connecting, let's say, a laptop to the USB-C port and then the USB Type A to Type B cable to a console or secondary computer. Then you can connect the mouse and keyboard to the side of the monitor, and now when you switch inputs, it'll automatically switch between the devices. It's really beneficial and a cool feature to add for those people that work on multiple devices. The next cool feature is BenQ's display mode, and it allows you to adjust the screen size to fit your personal need. So you can experience the monitor as a 22, 24, 27, and a 32-inch display, and this is great for people that utilize the monitor for multiple purposes. For example, you could use the 48-inch screen to enjoy watching movies in the comfort of your bed, and then when you want to game or work, you want to get up close, and so you could scale the display to a comfortable size. I use this feature when I stream for hours, and I use this monitor and it was really close to me, so I set it to 27 inches, and that was the perfect size for me since the monitor was literally 2 feet from me. The next feature is the multiple inputs. You can have this monitor function as a picture-in-picture. This is great for streaming and just using one monitor instead of two. You can do picture-by-picture, which has two inputs side by side at the same aspect ratio, and I use this feature a ton by hooking up both of my cameras to be able to see both angles at the same time on a bigger screen and when I'm unboxing something. One is my A cam and the second is my top-down shot, and it helps me to make sure that everything is in focus and in frame. And finally, there is the multi-screen, which can display up to 4 different inputs at the same time. You can enable the multiple input feature from the remote since it has its own dedicated shortcut button, and you can easily audio swap from inputs. The last cool feature is scenario mapping, and this gives you the ability to have different presets for each input. So you can have Game HDRi for HDMI 1 for your PS5, Cinema HDRi for HDMI 2 for your computer for movies, and Display P3 for USB-C for your laptop. You don't have to remember the settings that you like for a specific device because the monitor saves it all for you. Now, this monitor is an absolute beast in every aspect, but there are some cons about this, some more major than others, and my major one is that this monitor has some OLED vertical banding. And for those of you guys that don't know, banding is when you see some fainted streaks across the screen, and is mainly known in dark gray scenes when the monitor has the pixels slightly on, and it's mainly common for OLED panels. All OLED displays has some kind of banding, some brands or models more severe than others. For me, I could see the banding when there is a gray background like on the File Explorer, on the computer, or on the settings on the Xbox, that kind of gray level. It's not that severe, but it's still there and you get used to it, and thankfully, I never notice banding when I'm gaming or watching movies. It doesn't look like that there's anything there, and I'm happy in that case. It's definitely not a deal breaker, but just something to mention. The other con that I have is that this is a 48-inch monitor that retails for $1,800. I can't see gamers spending that amount of money on a monitor, and I don't see gamers using a 48-inch monitor and as their main gaming display. Now you can replace your TV and technically use this monitor as a TV, but then you're going to be competing with actual OLED TVs, like for example the LG C2, which is retailing for around $1,100, and the Sony A90K, which is retailing for around $1,400. Yes, the EX480UZ offers a lot more for gaming, but then you have the LG Ultra Gear 48-inch OLED monitor that retails for around $1,500, currently on sale for $1,200. Yes, it's an older model, but very similar in specs. Thankfully, at the time of this recording, the EX480UZ is on sale for $1,500. So it's a much better price, but I don't know for how much longer it's going to be on sale for. And me personally, I think that that should be the set retail price from here on out if BenQ wants to compete with other brands. But overall, I've been absolutely loving this monitor, and I really want BenQ to downscale it to a 27-inch monitor or even a 32-inch monitor. It's definitely possible, but only time will tell and how much it would actually cost. I also love the downward facing subwoofer, and that improved the bass quality when the monitor is on the desk. So I would love to see the downward facing subwoofer on a 32 and 27-inch models in the future if that's even possible. And the quality and features that this monitor offers are unbelievable. But there you guys have it. Let me know if you guys have any questions or concerns down in the comments below, as well as everything is going to be linked down in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so that you guys can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Follow me on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. As always, Tech HD. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!